What's up, guys? It's Pac. Welcome to another market review. I know it's been a long time. I'm super excited to be back, share some stuff with you guys. Been working in the background on a few things. So we're gonna hop in right on this market review for July 1st, 2024. And you can see my charts look a little different here. We're still using all the knowledge that we previously had used. We've just added on a couple things to make it a lot more precise, a lot more mechanical, to make things a lot easier for you guys, for myself, as my situation has changed, my life has changed. So we're going to be focusing on a little bit higher time frame trades. I'm not trading lower time frames like 5 seconds anymore. Entries mostly on the 1 minute or 2 minute, just a few a day. Just looking for about three a day. But yeah, let's hop right into it. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, this is about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, pre-market. It's about when I hopped on the charts this morning. You can clearly see that we've been trading um, between this 4 hour supply that we have here and this 4 hour demand with a chalk to the downside, a change of character to the downside. So what I was looking for around this time was possibly for price to trade up and then trade back down. So we're looking for shorts from this area and longs from this area if what we wanted to see occurred. So right now we're on the 4 hour chart. We dropped down to the 15-minute chart here. And all we really were looking to see was, hey, does price trade back up into this blue box? Preferably something that's completely unmitigated, because we do have this chalk, you know, right here. So we're looking for possibly finding something maybe in here, which would be the origin, and then here, which would be our last unmitigated supply on the 15 minutes. So I typically recently have been dropping down to the 2 minute. I'm just waiting for price to trade up into this and then give me like a little change of character like that, trade back up, take my entry, stops above here, and then go for like a 1 to 3. So I'm going very mechanical these days just because of, life changes. So you always got to adapt. So what time is it here? It is 6:15. So I was just waiting for price to trade up into that area, one of those two areas. Once it hits, drop down into the 2 minute and see if we get a chalk. If a chalk happens, if a change of character occurs, then I'd look to short that market. Regardless of the time, if it's before news, if it's before um, open, whatever that may be. If that chalk occurs, then I'd be looking to take that trade for a 1 to 3, and I just let the math play out. So, um, win, loss, no big deal. Cool, we get a trade down, a trade up. So right now, if I was looking for a chalk, it'd be right here. Just has to trade below it. It can wick it. Doesn't have to have a full body close. Just a wick would be perfectly okay with me. And as you can see, we don't get it, so this chalk line moves up. Remember, we have these two zones, these darker blue zones I'm looking to take shorts from. And this moves up again because we traded back higher. So there. And there you go. There's our chalk right there, right before open. So I'm just looking for an unmitigated area to trade into. Preferably maybe something here to possibly take shorts, like a 1 to 3 is typically what I'll do. Just go 1 to 3, so maybe something like this. Something along those lines. If it were to tap me in there. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out, no big deal. Okay, there's a loss. So negative 1R on the day. And if this negative 1R occurs, remember, we'll put a little thing, negative 1R. Negative 1R there. We're still looking for shorts at this because it's our higher time frame bias. Remember that. So we're still looking for the higher time frame bias. And again, if this occurs, if it taps into there, if it sweeps this, if this just ends up being a sweep, oops, not there. If this just ends up being something like a sweep, then if it chalks again, I'll go ahead and take the trade again because my winners are going to outweigh my losses. So again, we're still looking to short from this area. That hasn't changed. So there's a chalk there, right? It actually occurred right there. So this could potentially end up being a liquidity sweep. And we'll know it's a liquidity sweep if this chalks on the 15-minute, which is there, which it does. So now we're just looking for it to trade back into where? Trade back into something like this. We don't need this anymore. It's already got used. Something like that. That would give us our 1 to 3. Something in here. Trade that down. Something along those lines there. So it's just super mechanical these days. Again, we're still tracking structure, order flow zones, like this would be a low, this would be a high, right? Because we closed above and then we switched, so now we're bearish, so we should be looking for shorts, right? Just refining my entries. Boom, this is right on open. And you can see, there you go. Got a nice 1 to 3, super simple, super awesome trade there. So we're up plus 3R on these two trades. Remember, I'm just looking for about 3 a day, 3 trades a day. Again, we have a chalk when we trade below. It just has to wick. We have an internal break of structure when there's a close. So this is an internal break of structure on like probably a 15-minute time frame. Something like that right there. So again, same thing. What do we have? We had a, if we're looking at order flow, we have a high, low, high, low, high, break below, right? Keep going. So again, where are we at? I'm looking for shorts still down into this area, this gray box. That's our higher time frame demand zone, right? Our 4-hour demand zone. So again, now that we, oops, my bad. Now that I could potentially look for another trade, but I'm trying to just trade 15-minute areas. So we're expecting this low to get smashed, right? Because again, this was our chalk down. It swept there. It tapped into our last area of supply to the upside. So we're expecting this to trade down into here because the 4-hour is telling us that, right? So boom, right there, 4-hour taps, or we tap into that 4-hour area, our 15-minute. So now we're just looking for that 2-hour change or 2-minute change of character, right? So right now we haven't got anything. If it was going to change character, it needs to trade. It needs to trade, I believe it's above here currently. So we're just waiting for that to occur. Okay, so now for it to change character, it needs to trade above that wick right there. And boom, there you go. So where would we try to enter longs? Well, we want to enter in the last demand zone, which would be here. So if it taps this, we'll take a tap of this area. If it were to tap, we'd take a tap, right? So again, this isn't 15-minute demand. We'll just go with a gray box there. Again, if we're following our tracking our highs and lows, right? We have a low and we have a high and then we have another low and then we switch bullish, right? So this would be our origin that we're expecting to trade out of. So if it trades down there, we'll take a long. If it doesn't, then we'll just look for an additional chalk, which right now it would be there. And then we would just trade it the same way, right? Okay, now it would be here. So we're either taking this trade here, if it taps, right? And we're looking for a 1 to 3. Just to play it safe, to make sure our winners always outweigh our losers. Doesn't tap us in, but we get another chalk there, right? So we didn't get tapped in on that one, but we get another chalk when we trade above there. So again, where's our last demand zone that hasn't been mitigated? Our last one's going to be this fractal. So we'll trade this fractal. If it comes back down into this fractal, we'll trade longs out of this fractal. We'll just cover the low of the fractal, trade 1 to 3, which would be right there. And does it tap us in? Taps us in. And win or lose, we just follow the math. There's a dub there, so that's another +3. +3R. Oops, that is not what I was looking to do. +3R. So right now we're up, how much? We're up 5R on the day. Super awesome, super simple day so far. Those are the 3 trades I took today. Very simple trades, nothing too crazy. Again, now we're back in this 15-minute demand zone where I was expecting shorts to come from. So if I did want to short, what would I have to find? Well, I'd have to look to see if price was going to give me a reaction from this area at 2-minute chalk. Again, if I go up to maybe the 15-minute time frame, I would see that we're trading from a higher time frame demand zone, which is our 4-hour. So most likely this high gets smashed, right? Especially once we close there. That means we're back bullish, right? So we would expect it to trade at least into something on the higher time frame and then give a reaction. So now that I've seen this, most likely you don't want to short from this area. You'd want to wait till it gets above here, maybe taps into something that's unmitigated like up here, and then possibly look for shorts. You could look for continuation longs though. Could look for continuation longs, so that's something you want to do. So let's see what happens. Again, this is right around noon. So we still don't have, it looks like everything got mitigated. This whole entire zone's got mitigated. So I'd only be looking for longs. So what I'd like to see is I like to see it do this. Is trade up, trade down, trade up, sweep, give me another change of character, and then continue if I was going to look for longs. Otherwise, I would just wait for it until it got up there. Let me just mark that out on the 15 minutes so I know what I'm looking at. Something like maybe in this area. Maybe something like that, right? Maybe something like that. Possibly even like, maybe even here. There's this one here. That's completely unmitigated, this candle on the 15 minutes. So possibly even something there. So let's see what the 2-minute does. So up, 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 up. So it liquidates something here. So we're not looking for shorts because it's already proven on the 15-minute that it wants to go bullish. So we're looking for potential to go long again. Potential to go long again. So there's your chalk right there. You'd basically trade off of this candle there if you wanted to go long. Taps us in. If I was going to take a 4th trade today, this would have been the one that I've taken. 1 to 3. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if it gives it to us. If not, if it stops you out, it stops you out. Doesn't matter. You already have 5R. So let's see if it sweeps us. Oh, see it? See how it tapped into that supply zone there? That gray one? And then it's giving us all these reactions from it. But we still get that 3R right there. So again, what will we be up? That's +3R. Right, dude, I did that again. What am I doing? It's been a while since I made a video, right? There's another +3R. Again, we were looking for shorts possibly out of that area, but what would we have had to see? We would have had to see price trade below this low because this was the high. So it would have had to do what? Trade down, trade up, trade back down, and then we could have gone. It never got us that. That's why this ends up being a protected low, same as if we're following structure, right? We get structure, it comes down, this ends up being a low, this ends up being a high. It trades back into it if we want to put our box there. And we want to mark like 50%, right? Comes back down to around 50. Here's around your 70, and it trades away, right? Nice, simple trades. All the concepts line up there. So, as we move forward, what time is this? Oh, it's 4 o'clock. Market ends up closing, shortly after. So that's kind of how I'm trading these days, very mechanically. I don't worry about it too much. I'm not just going for 5 points. I'm not going for points either. I'm actually just risking the same amount on my R's. I'm just risking about $200 per trade. So 200 loss for $600 win. It's kind of my risk, my expenses and profits that I'm looking at these days. So today was a very, very great day. I mean, there's 1 loss and 3 wins. I only took 3 trades. The only trades I took was this one, and this one. I did not take this one. That one did not occur. So, plus 5R on the day. You do the math. It's a pretty good day. So I'm going to go in more detail. I'm going to make more videos like this. I'm going to start making daily market reviews again every single day. And I'm actually going to be making a whole new YouTube series on the adjustments and why I adjusted and why I find this more lucrative than how I was trading the lower time frames. A, less stress. B, a lot easier to catch the trades. They're very simple, mechanical. I think it's going to benefit a lot of you guys. So I'm happy to be back, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.